Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to this video. In the previous video, as you can see, we learned about the hover and transition effects. That was quite cool with the Tailwind CSS and quite easy. In this video, we are going to learn about some more interesting things which we have in pure CSS, but with the Tailwind it is quite easy and very interesting and straightforward. So first, let's see about the animations, and then we will go to the transforms. For the animation, we have these utility classes: animate none, animate spin, which is given here the CSS values, like it will spin the element and in this keyframes. And we have animate ping, and then animate pulse, bounce, and this all. Let's try this animation. Let me comment down this button, create a div. For example, just I'll write a box. Now let's bring the box into center the text. Just say flex, then justify center, then items center. Let's save it and see it is. Now we can just use a bit margin of like 4 or 5 or like 10 to move it a bit here. Okay, now we can apply the animation on this one. So let's say animate but spin. Let's save it and just can see that we got the animation, and we can just use the other styles. Let's animate pulse. Let's save it and see what we get. Yeah, so this was the pulse. What else we have? Spin, that was pulse. That we have ping as well. Let's see. Yeah, this is the ping. This is the pinging. And another one, do we have bounce? So we have bounce as well. It will bounce the box. After animation, we have this transforms. This transform function in scale, we can scale it or on the x-axis or on the y-axis, or let's say we can work with the hover or without hover. So with the hover it will look quite interesting. Let me first remove this animate spin. For example, if we hover on the box, let's make it scale a bit. It is now the width is height. The height is h52 and the weight is also 52. So we will scale it 125% of the original scale. So scale 125. When we hover on this one, as you can see, it will grow and scale will change. So we can make it smaller, like scale 75. So it will be smaller than the original size. Yeah, we can scale it on the x-axis. For example, if I say hover scale on the x-axis about 125%, so a rectangle will be here, as you can see, just scaling on the x-axis. And the same way we can change it to y-axis as well on the hover. It can be without hover, but it's quite interesting when you hover and the dimensions changes. After the scale, we have the rotate. So on the hover or without hover, you can rotate it. For example, if you want to rotate this our box, then we can by degree, we can rotate it by degree. If you use rotate 1, it means 1 degree, and you rotate 2 degree, and so on. We have rotate 45 degree, rotate 19 degree, and we have till 180 degrees. So we can just rotate it 90 degree. As you can see, the box is rotated. So after the rotation, we have the translate. You can move it. When you hover, it should move a bit to right, to left, or like to top or to bottom. So you can use this translate option or translate utility classes. For example, if we just get rid of this rotation, if I hover, it is just scaling on the y-axis a bit. So I want to make sure that it should come a little bit down. so that should not affect the original margin that we have before the hovering. This space, I want to maintain this space after, even after the scaling it on the y-axis. So let's say use here hover, translate dash y. On the y, let's say about 10 will be about 40 px or 2.5 RAM. So let's save it and let's refresh. Yeah, it's scaling and moving to bottom, like so. This way we have translate, and if you want to completely move it on the x-axis, you can use that as well. So for example, hover, translate, okay, x-axis, for example about 10 or 20, like we say. Let's save it. When we hover, yeah, it is translated, moving the box a bit forward. So this was about the translate, and after that we have here like a skew. We cannot just define it what skew does, but you can see it. You can skew it whether on the x-axis or on the y-axis. So you can see the shapes here given. For example, if we use the skew on the y-axis without hovering, let's use it. Skew dash on the y-axis, just skewed a bit about 6. Let's save it and see what happens. You can see that we got the skew box, and when we hover again we have the same thing. So we can change it. For example, if we hover, skewed on the y-6, so let's make it a bit -1. Let's say minus. Will it work or not? So you can see that the shape changes. Now the skew on the x-axis and the y-axis about 6 unit, and when we just over it, it should skew -6. Then when we give minus before the utility, that means that the unit should be minus. So you can see that the shape changes. This was all about the animation and the transforms. Hope you have got something. Please like and subscribe if you like my videos, and share it with your friends. Thank you so much.